in here?
I'm giving out sauce for free.
Free sauce? Who are you?
I'm JB Cuts, and I'm gonna show you how you can be better than barbering.
1, 2, 3, hit that!
Yo, what's the word? JB back. Got my boy Dom in here. Finna get this transformation. He just cut off his locks. One of my faithful clients. He been coming to me for a minute. So you know I gotta get him together. First thing I'm gonna do is comb through his hair. You know what I'm saying? I wanna make sure since he had the locks, we wanna make sure everything is detangled. So I'm gonna start by lining them up. You know, I like to make sure I get that good pre-line before I cut the hair down while the hair is still full. I can see the lining when it's at its fullest potential. Okay, because that's when it has the most bulk. So I just want to make sure before I bring the bulk down that I can see the darkest point of the lining so we can make sure he crispy. So when I do my turns for the C cup, I use this method that I came up with called turn the dough knob. You just want to make sure that the lines are congruent. Okay, we just gonna put the corner on the side and kind of start that C cup motion. So when we do come back to combine it with the beard before we take the hair down, that you can still see that imprint as well.
Guys on the track.
Get to this side, we gonna still do the same thing. Use the corner. Then you're gonna see me start turning the liners as like I'm turning the doorknob. Sanitation first. Just wanna make sure I clean up real good. If you use the air compressor, I would advise you to use the air to help you clean the hair off your clippers. You know what I'm saying? They help get the hair gone instead of having to buy air all the time. Now this is a transformation. He had an afro taper and we finna take him to a 1.5 on top. You're gonna get a regular haircut wavelength. Checking to make sure that's the desired length. He said it's a go, so we're gonna continue. Alright, so I'm just making sure that I take the hair off in the right direction that the hair is growing. So I'm going into the hair stream. Same way we'll go into this hair stream, the same way the client will brush his hair as if he's trying to get waves. So I always let the clients know to kind of remember to kind of feel how I'm cutting their hair so they can understand that that's how their hair stream grows, so they know how to brush their hair to get waves if they need to. That's a little advice for y'all. See, I leave that crown area for last. I just want to make sure I can fully focus on that area so we won't have any patching, because it's crucial that you take that hair off in the direction that it grows, because you will see a whole patch if you don't. If you can see how that pre-line already kind of helps the haircut pop a little bit. So now after I took it down, you can still kind of see the pre-existing line. I'm asking him a lot of questions because he just cut his hair off. He had locks, so I just want to make sure that he comfortable with everything that we about to get into, and I just want to make sure that he's satisfied with the end result. So I just keep asking him a lot of questions. Okay, I'm finna start this taper. Finna start attacking this taper. He said he want a small pocket taper, so I'm not gonna take the first guideline too high. I just want to make sure it's kind of small in there. So I kind of go in and I make like an umbrella effect guideline. If you can see, it's like a semicircle. I'm going in there to attack. I start out with my 2, then the 1.5, and I'm gonna use the 1A, and then I'm gonna use the 1, just work my way back down to that line. Just a different fading technique. I'm gonna fade down. As you can see, I'm still using all blades, not using any guards. The fade coming out real nice. See, I'm stroke, stroke, comb, stroke, stroke, comb. Every time I stroke, I just want to make sure I flick out in a C-cup motion. That's going to give us that transition for the next blade so it can come off and you can see it a lot more blended. While I'm already in this area, I'm going to start blending the beard with the taper, so halfway done before we even get there. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm just laying that hair down now. I just want to make sure that any hairs that's sticking up is taken away. Whatever blade that you go against the grain with, the blade underneath it is the blade that you lay the hairs down with. So say for instance, I went against the grain with the 1.5 in that top area, I just used the 1A to lay the hair down that I went against the grain with. It just gives it like a softer, smoother look. As you can see, this taper is definitely coming together. I'm just working it, trying to make sure it's smooth, make sure the transition nice. Same thing in the back. I'm going to start my guide line while I see the hair is the most bulky, is going straight across. See, when I make this guide line, I stop at the line. You see, when I fade, I flick. I'm going to open that clipper all the way up and proceed to go up 1 inch from the guide line. I want to make sure I go up enough just so I can make sure I see transition. A lot of the times when you don't see a lot of transition is because the guideline were placed too close together. So we want to make sure that we able to see the whole fade. We want to see dark to light to nothing. And now I'm going in blending. I'm using my technique, using all the levers to work my way back down to the line so that we could take the line out using the same clipper. Now I'm going to go in with my 2 and start debulking. And I'm going to come back down with my 1.5 and then the 1A to meet me back at the open masters, which is equivalent to a 1. When I use my clipper, you see I'm using it at a 65-degree angle at first. That's taking the least amount of hair off. And then as I see the hair start debulking, I start laying the blade down more, which is going to cause us to take more hair off and give us the exact amount that we're looking for. So I'm basically just maximizing the use of my tool that I have instead of switching to another guard or being able to switch the lever on the master with the guard on there. It's the same thing, it's just using the blade. I'm just going in there detailing that, making sure that bulk is gone, making sure it looks the same straight across. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see any inconsistency in my fading. I just want to make sure it's consistent all over. Again, I'm stroke, stroke, comb, stroke, stroke, comb. We got to make sure as we go against the grain that we lay the hair right back down. already back here. I'm gonna start lining this back up. The neck, I'm gonna get this part over with. Same thing I explained before, like on the line, we're gonna use the turn the doorknob technique. I like to go up first around the ear, so it's a lot safer before the clippers get hot or anything. We can kind of test the blade on the client because we want to make sure that he is comfortable as well. Then we're going to use that natural line that is creating to follow that all the way back down. I'm not going to push it in anymore. Look at that blend. Look how it pop. See, I go with the grain, then I go against the grain. Check it one more time, make sure it's crispy. Then we're going to go back against the grain. Same thing on the other side. Gonna turn the doorknob, and then we're gonna go with the grain to take the hair off, and then we're gonna go against the grain. Okay, now you see me going back to blending the beard with the tape on the other side. And I'm going to get into lining my beards up. So how I line my beards up, I kind of do a different technique. More so in the back, I still do use the turn the doorknob technique, but I always put my beards in the back on a curve if the client has the beard full. So how I do my beards, I kind of line the back of the beards up first so I can get like a foundation so I can see the fullest potential of the beard. I want to make sure that the client can get a full look. You know, I always go for the full look, but I always go for what the client asks for. Very important that when you're getting the hair from the bottom of the neck that you are careful. More coarse hair can cause ingrown hairs if we don't take the hair off right. So we want to make sure that we are going in the right direction to take the hair off. Okay, his hair at the bottom of his neck is going up, which usually how it goes. That's the 10th, the 13th, and the 5th stroke, and the 14 razor strokes, and they're usually reverse freehand, so those go up, which is true. So we want to just make sure we're taking it off in that direction so we can help stop ingrown hair, so folliculitis. Okay, I'm gonna use the back. I'm gonna do the same technique. I'm gonna turn the doorknob just to get that curve on the back. A little more fashionable, not a straight down look. Yes, sir. This transformation, he already liking it. He see it. Yes, sir. And I don't know about y'all anywhere else, but here in Chicago, this is like a real common haircut. You know what I'm saying? We want to get a nice wavelength cut to show the waves, and a taper on the side just to add a little style to it. So it's a real common haircut that we have. Usually a lot of people have locks, mohawks, high tops, you know what I'm saying? But this is kind of the most common cut, so.
Eyes on the track.
Alright, so we taking the beard down now. Like I said, we want to make sure we get a full look for the beard. Taking the beard down leaves less room for it to kind of look as patchy, okay? Because we want to just make sure that it's one length straight across so we can see the fullest potential of the beard. Look at that blend. Yes, sir. All blades. So when we use the razor, we can make sure it's on a 30-degree angle, okay? I'm not going to stress that enough, 30-degree angle. If it's anything less, it's going to slice. Anything more, we're going to stab, and we don't want to do neither, okay? So we want to make sure we're on a 30-degree angle. Make sure we pulling that skin firmly behind. When I start at the beard, you see I'm stretching the skin. I'm going to take that around. Oh, yeah, it's coming out. Transformation. Make sure that curve is symmetrical with the taper and the lining. I just want to make sure it comes together. Okay, as you can see, it's coming together real nice. Now I'm just checking, man. I want to make sure he good. I'm detailing the bottom lip. Okay, you see how I go back in and I get closer to that razor so I can have way more stability, like way more control over that razor. Got detail, neutral, and control. Okay, it's 3 parts to the razor that we want to make sure we can be able to grasp so we can do more detail work. I'll get into that with another video for y'all. I'm hitting the lip. We're gonna make sure we start on the bottom first. Okay, reason why we start on the bottom first because we don't want to do the top first and then the bottom, and then the mustache come out too thin. Okay, so this is just a safe way for us to kind of estimate how high or how low to go in the mustache. Go back in, hit that liner one more time, make sure he crispy. I'm just doing my detail work, making sure everything clean, making sure everything crispy. You see he's satisfied. Making sure all the hair is in the right places. Look at that smile. Yeah, he know he winning. He keeps seeing it. Exactly what he was looking for. I'm finna do my detail and my cleanup work. I put a 5-out blade on the supers. Just finna go over the loose hairs, making sure I see anything that's loose. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's sticking up like past what you can see over his hair. I want to make sure all that gets clipped off. I'm finna show you right now. I'm just using the heel of the blade as a guide to go right over it. And we just gonna make sure this nice and even. That's a different technique. Sometimes I use shears, sometimes I use the masters, sometimes I use a 5-out. Give me a cleaner look. So whatever you're more comfortable with. Look at that lining though. Look at that taper, my boy, in there. Before this video over, I just want to make sure I let y'all know and I'm here for y'all, man. For real, for real. I just want to give y'all this free sauce so y'all can excel. For sure. I want to make sure that you get this so you can get the maximum amount of income that you can to get your clients in there. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and click that bell, man, so you can get a notification anytime I drop a new video. Remember, I'm JB Cuss and I'm giving out free sauce. Hit your boy.